John could no longer sleep. Every night he saw his mother's face, not angry, not shouting, just quiet, disappointed. And that silence was louder than any curse. John understood something at last. This did not begin with Kevin, it began with him. He did not blame his son, he blamed himself. A mother is not just one person, John whispered one night. She is a bridge. What you break in your time, your children will cross barefoot. Fear entered his heart. What if his mother's pain did not stop with him? What if it followed Kevin? What if it followed Kevin's children too? John made a decision. Early one morning, he went to the village elders, barefoot, humble, broken. He did not defend himself. He did not hide the truth. He told them everything. How his mother trained him alone, how he chose marriage over mercy, how he ignored her hunger, how he came only when she was silent forever. The elders listened. One old man shook his head slowly and said, "You did not offend a woman, you offended a root." Another elder added, "When a mother cries with a clean heart, her words do not fade, they walk." John trembled. Then the eldest among them spoke, his voice calm but heavy. "If you don't want this pain to move from generation to generation, you must go and beg." "Beg who?" John asked, his voice breaking. "Beg the earth that received her. Beg the spirit that raised you. Beg the mother you ignored." They told him what to do. He must bring items of respect. He must go to his mother's resting place, and both he and his wife must kneel, not to perform rituals, but to confess from the heart. John went home and told Precious everything. At first, she was silent. Then she broke down. "I didn't know," she cried. "I didn't know your mother was good. My fear came from my past, but I allowed it to destroy another woman." For the first time, Precious did not defend herself. She accepted her fault. But there was a problem. They had no money. The items were many. Life had already drained them dry. Still, they tried. John sold what little he had. Precious removed her jewelry. They borrowed, they humbled themselves. Slowly, painfully, they gathered everything. Before they went, they called Kevin. They explained everything. Why his father was afraid, why his mother was crying, why history was repeating itself. But Kevin refused to listen. "This is old people's belief," he said. "I don't have time for this." John's heart sank. Not because Kevin refused, but because he once said the same thing. That night, John sat alone and whispered, "Mama, I am trying." The next morning, John and Precious prepared to go. Two people, full of regret, carrying the weight of 3 generations. Whether Kevin joined them or not, John knew one truth. A mistake you admit can end. A mistake you deny will multiply. Would humility still speak? Would a late apology still matter? Or had the lesson already chosen its path? John and Precious walked slowly, carrying the items of respect. Not because the load was heavy, but because their hearts were. The morning sun had not fully risen when they reached the place, Mama John's resting place. No fence, no marble, just earth. The same earth she tilled, the same ground that carried her pain in silence. John stopped walking. His legs trembled. For a long moment, he could not move forward. "This is where I stopped being a son," he whispered. Precious stood beside him, holding the items tightly. Her eyes were swollen from crying all night. They knelt. Not gracefully, not proudly. They knelt like people who had lost their way and finally found the road back. John placed his hands on the earth. "Mama," he said softly. His voice cracked. "I did not understand then. I thought success meant distance. I thought marriage meant separation. I thought silence meant peace." His tears dropped onto the soil. "I was wrong." Precious bowed her head low. "Mama," she said, her voice shaking. I did not know your heart. My fear spoke louder than my conscience. I protected myself and destroyed another woman's peace. She pressed her forehead to the ground. If humility still has a voice, please hear us. The wind moved gently through the trees. Not loud, not dramatic, just present. John stayed on his knees for a long time. He spoke of hunger, of shame, of pride, of regret. He spoke of Kevin. I'm afraid, he said. Afraid that what I broke will follow him. Afraid that my mistakes will wear his face. Then he stopped talking. Because something changed. Not in the sky, not in the earth, but inside him. For the first time in years, John felt lighter. Not forgiven, not justified, just honest. They stood up slowly. And that was when they heard footsteps. Someone was coming. John turned. It was Kevin. He stood at a distance, watching. He had followed them quietly, not because he believed, but because something would not let him stay away. He looked at his parents kneeling, at his father's tired back, at his mother's trembling hands. Something shifted. John said nothing. He did not call him. Kevin walked closer. Then, unexpectedly, he knelt too. No one spoke. No one forced him. He placed his hand on the earth and said only one sentence. If this pain came from here, then let its healing start here too. John closed his eyes. Tears flowed freely now. Not tears of regret, but tears of release. They left quietly. No celebration, no announcement. Just 3 people walking away from the place that once held only silence. But life does not answer immediately. Some apologies take time to grow. That evening, Kevin returned home. When his wife spoke sharply to his parents, Kevin interrupted her gently. We don't talk to them like that, he said. His wife looked surprised. Kevin did not shout. He did not explain. He only repeated, we don't break what we don't want our children to inherit. That night, John slept. Deeply. Without dreams. For the first time in many years. And somewhere, whether in memory or in meaning, a bridge that was once broken began to mend. Episode 9 is coming. Because breaking a chain is not a moment, it is a series of choices.